Have you ever felt like your body is slowly slipping away? Even though your heart still feels young, I am 82 now, and I still remember what it felt like to carry my grandson on my back when he was just a baby. These days I walk slower. I forget small things, but deep inside I still feel the same. If you feel this way too, I want to share something simple with you, something that has been part of my life for decades. In Japan, many of us live long lives, not because of fancy medicine, but because of small, quiet habits. One of those is salmon. Yes, just salmon. Gently grilled in the morning, warm over rice, or in a simple soup shared with family. This one food has helped us stay strong, keep our minds clear, and live with grace. Today, I'll show you why salmon is more than just food. It's a quiet guardian of muscles, memory, and longevity. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from, and what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. The Salmon Memory, a story from Hokkaido. When I was a little boy, I used to wake up to the smell of grilled fish drifting from our small kitchen in Hokkaido. My grandmother, who lived to be 97, always prepared breakfast before sunrise. There was rice miso soup, pickled vegetables, and almost every morning there was salmon. Lightly salted, cooked over charcoal, its aroma warm and comforting. Back then, I never questioned it. It was just what we ate. But now looking back, I realize how much that simple piece of fish shaped my life. Even during the harsh winters when snow buried our house to the windows, we never skipped our morning meal. My grandmother would say, "Eat your salmon so your legs stay strong enough to walk through the snow." She believed in food as quiet medicine. No fancy supplements, no big pills, just the right food at the right time every day. As I grew older, I watched many of my friends turn to easier meals, processed, packaged, convenient. But in my home, the salmon stayed. When I was in my 60s, I started to feel the same aches and forgetfulness many my age experience. But I kept walking, I kept cooking, I kept eating salmon. Some people think eating well means giving up taste or pleasure, but in Japan we believe in harmony. Salmon brings balanced protein for strength, omega-3 for the brain, and joy for the heart. Now at 82, I still eat salmon 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes grilled, sometimes in ochazuke, a warm tea over rice with flakes of broiled salmon. It's not just a habit, it's a memory, a comfort, a quiet guardian. If you have ever felt your strength fading or your thoughts slipping like sand through your fingers, I want you to know it's not too late. There are simple, gentle ways to bring your body back to balance, and it can start with something as humble as a piece of salmon. Why Japanese elders trust salmon, not just for taste. In Japan, food is more than fuel, it's philosophy. And when it comes to aging well, few foods are as trusted as salmon. You see, for many elders in Japan, salmon isn't just delicious, it's dependable. It's the kind of food our bodies recognize even as we age. Unlike processed meals that confuse our digestion or spike our sugar, salmon is gentle, nourishing, familiar. There's a reason why the island nation of Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. In Okinawa, where centenarians are common, the diet is built on plants and fish, not red meat, and among all the fish, salmon stands out. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, it supports both the heart and the brain, two areas that often weaken with age. Studies from Japanese medical universities have shown that older adults who eat fish at least twice a week have better cognitive function and fewer memory complaints. Salmon in particular has a unique combination of nutrients that reduce inflammation in the brain and protect the walls of our blood vessels. But it's not just what's in the salmon, it's how we prepare it. In the West, salmon is often smothered in creamy sauces or deep fried. But in Japan, the tradition is simpler and lighter. A small fillet, gently salted, grilled over a flame, and served with steamed rice miso soup, and perhaps a side of grated daikon. The idea isn't to overpower the taste, but to respect it, to let the food speak. My daughter once asked me why I don't get tired of eating the same thing over and over. I smiled and said, "Because salmon gives me exactly what I need. It's not boring, it's grounding." And perhaps that's the secret. In America, food often changes with trends, but in Japan, the foundation remains the same: eat what nourishes, eat what's in season, eat with gratitude. Salmon has been with us for generations, not because it's fashionable, but because it works. If you're looking for one small change in your diet that could gently improve your health, I'd invite you to do what we've done for decades. Let salmon into your life not as a trend, but as a tradition. Your body, and especially your brain, may thank you. Muscles. After 60, how salmon supports strength. When I turned 65, something began to change. I still walked every morning, still carried groceries, still stretched with my wife before breakfast, but slowly my muscles began to shrink. My arms felt softer, my legs tired more easily. Even standing up from a chair required more effort than before. This is something many people over 60 experience. In Japan, we call it roku daika, the quiet decline of strength that comes not from sickness, but from time. In Western medicine, it's known as sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. But here's what I learned early on: muscle doesn't only come from exercise, it also comes from what you eat. And salmon once again plays a quiet but powerful role. Salmon is rich in high-quality protein, but unlike heavy meats that can be hard on an aging stomach, salmon is easy to digest. It contains all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair and rebuild muscle. And because it's low in saturated fat, it supports strength without burdening the heart. In Japan, we often eat salmon right after gentle movement. In the mornings, many elders still do radio taiso, a series of light exercises broadcasted over the radio since the 1920s. After that, we eat a simple breakfast: grilled salmon, rice, and soup. This combination of movement and nourishment isn't just tradition, it's muscle care. A study from Kyoto University found that older adults who included salmon in their diet at least 3 times a week retained more lean body mass than those who didn't. The researchers linked this benefit not only to protein, but also to the omega-3s in salmon, which reduce inflammation and support the muscle repair process. I remember my friend Kenji, who had knee pain and trouble walking in his late 70s. He didn't want to take pills, so he returned to the habits of his youth. He started walking 20 minutes every morning, doing simple squats by holding onto the back of a chair, and eating salmon with almost every lunch. Within 6 months, he told me he could walk up the hill to the shrine again, something he hadn't done in years. It's not a miracle. It's a quiet shift, a gentle rebuilding. If your muscles feel weaker these days, if lifting, walking, or standing has become more difficult, please don't lose heart. Your body still responds to care. Add salmon to your plate. Move a little each day. Rest well. These are not difficult steps, but they are deeply effective. And remember, strength doesn't mean lifting heavy things. Sometimes it simply means being able to carry yourself with steadiness without fear of falling. That strength can return one bite at a time. Brain fog and forgetfulness. What salmon can do for the aging mind. There was a time when I began to forget the names of flowers I had planted for years. I'd walk into a room and pause, unsure of why I came. At first, I laughed it off, but deep inside, I felt uneasy, like pieces of myself were slipping away. If this sounds familiar, please know you're not alone. Many of us feel it after 60, this soft fog that seems to settle over the mind. It's not a failure. It's the brain asking gently for care. In Japan, we speak often of karada to kokoro no tsunagari, the link between body and heart, or body and mind. And one of the simplest bridges between the two is food. Among all the things we can eat to protect the brain, salmon remains one of our most trusted allies. Why? Because salmon is rich in DHA docosahexaenoic acid, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that helps maintain the structure and function of the brain. DHA makes up a large part of the brain's gray matter, especially the areas involved in memory and learning. As we age, the brain naturally loses some of its sharpness. But studies from Tokyo University show that older adults who consume omega-3s regularly, especially from fatty fish like salmon, perform better on memory tests and show slower cognitive decline. One of my dear friends, Haruko-san, was always sharp and full of stories. But in her mid-70s, she started forgetting details and repeating questions. Her daughter began preparing salmon meals for her 3 times a week, grilled, stewed, or added to miso soup. She also encouraged Haruko-san to write in a journal every day and go on short walks. Within a few months, Haruko's mind became clearer, not perfect, but brighter, more awake. She could follow conversations more easily, and she returned to reading her favorite haiku books. Her doctor said it wasn't magic, but a mix of good fats, good routine, and gentle stimulation. In Japanese hospitals, especially in geriatric care units, salmon often appears in soft rice porridge or warm soups. The belief is not just about nutrients, it's about kindness to the body. When digestion is easy, energy can be used for healing elsewhere like the brain. And it's not only DHA. Salmon also contains B vitamins like B12 and niacin, which support brain function and help regulate mood. Some researchers even link omega-3 intake to reduced risk of depression in the elderly. So if you've felt your memory slipping, if words sometimes hide from you, or if focus has become harder, consider bringing salmon into your week. You don't need a perfect meal plan. Just start with one small dish. Grilled salmon on a Sunday morning, a spoonful of salmon flakes over rice, or a simple soup with seaweed tofu and salmon simmered together. This is how we care for the mind in Japan, not with fear, but with nourishment. Slowly, gently, and with deep respect for the brain that has carried us all these years. Heart and longevity, the salmon connection. In my village, we had a saying, "A healthy heart carries a long life." I didn't think much of it when I was young, but now at 82, I understand its quiet truth. The heart, so small yet so central, is the rhythm keeper of our days. And with age, it asks for gentler care. It beats slower, it tires more easily, but it also listens, and what we feed it, it remembers. In Japan, where people often live into their 90s and beyond, the heart is cared for not through big interventions, but through small, steady habits. One of those habits is eating fish, especially salmon. Why salmon? Because it's filled with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, which helps reduce inflammation in blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and improve overall heart function. In a study published by the Japan Public Health Center, researchers found that older adults who consumed fish high in omega-3s at least twice a week had significantly lower risks of heart disease and stroke. When my brother-in-law had his first health scare in his late 60s, a mild heart attack, he didn't just start medication. He also changed how he ate. Gone were the heavy sauces and fried foods. In came steamed vegetables, pickled roots, and yes, grilled salmon with grated daikon. He's now 78 and still rides his bicycle to the market every week. There is something calming about salmon. Unlike red meats, which can raise cholesterol and strain the heart, salmon provides clean, lean protein. It nourishes without overloading. In our home, we serve it with simplicity: a slice of lemon, a side of seaweed salad, maybe a cup of green tea. Nothing fancy, just balanced. In the West, I often see salmon served with creamy butter sauces or placed on top of rich pasta. It's delicious, but the heart prefers simplicity. In Japan, we honor the natural taste: a drizzle of soy sauce, a bit of miso glaze. No need to hide its flavor, only to support it. The link between salmon and longevity isn't just about nutrients. It's about how the food makes you feel: light yet full, nourished but never heavy. When the heart feels less burdened, it moves freely. And when the heart moves freely, life flows more easily. So if you've been worried about your blood pressure, or if heart health runs in your family, consider this: salmon isn't a miracle food, but it is a gentle one, a steady companion. A food that has walked with us in Japan for generations, helping us age not just longer, but more peacefully. How the Japanese prepare salmon. Differently. In Japan, how we prepare food is just as important as what we eat. This is especially true with salmon. You won't often find it deep-fried or buried under heavy sauces. Instead, we prepare it with respect, lightly, simply, and with purpose. When I was a child, my grandmother used to say, "Food should heal, not tire the body." She would wake early, salt the salmon gently, and let it rest while she swept the garden. By breakfast, the fish was ready to be grilled over a small flame. No oil, no batter, just heat, time, and care. This simple method, shioyaki, brings out the natural flavors of the fish while keeping it easy to digest. The salt draws out moisture, firms the texture, and enhances the taste without overpowering it. We usually serve it with steamed rice, a bowl of miso soup, and a side of grated daikon radish, which cools the body and aids digestion. This way of cooking isn't about convenience, it's about shokuiku, the Japanese philosophy of food education. Shokuiku teaches us to eat with awareness, to understand what we're eating, where it comes from, and how it affects our body. It's taught in schools, practiced in homes, and passed down through generations. Compare this with what I sometimes see when I travel to the West: salmon hidden under thick cheese or sugar-filled glazes, served with fries or white bread. It fills the stomach, yes, but it burdens the body. After eating, instead of feeling nourished, people often feel sleepy or bloated. In Japanese homes, we aim for balance: warm foods to support digestion, cooling vegetables to soothe the body, and plenty of small dishes to awaken different parts of the tongue. A typical elder's meal might include grilled salmon, simmered pumpkin, pickled cucumber, a cup of barley tea, and perhaps a slice of orange. Another way we prepare salmon is in nabe, a hot pot shared with family. In winter, we simmer salmon with tofu, cabbage, mushrooms, and miso broth. It's warming, light, and deeply comforting. We eat slowly, talk softly, and let the warmth fill us from the inside out. The setting matters too. In Japan, we eat sitting close to the ground. This posture, simple as it seems, engages the core muscles and supports digestion. Meals are quiet, intentional moments. We don't rush. We don't multitask. The act of eating becomes an act of care. If you're thinking about adding salmon to your life, I invite you to try preparing it the Japanese way. You don't need special tools, just a pan, a little sea salt, and a few minutes of attention. Serve it with vegetables. Eat slowly. Listen to your body. What to look for when buying salmon in the U.S. When I first visited the United States, I went to a grocery store hoping to buy salmon. The fish section was bright and full, but I felt lost. There were labels I didn't recognize: farm-raised, wild-caught Atlantic Pacific sockeye coho king. The prices varied, and so did the colors. Some looked pale pink, others a deep orange. In Japan, buying salmon is simpler. The fishmonger knows where it came from. The season tells us what to choose. But in the US, you need to read carefully because not all salmon is the same, especially when it comes to health. If you want to bring salmon into your life for strength, brain support, and longevity, here's what I've learned to look for. First, choose wild-caught whenever possible. Wild salmon, especially from Alaska, feeds on its natural diet and swims in cold, clean waters. This gives it a higher level of omega-3 fats and a firmer, richer texture. It's also less likely to contain artificial coloring or added antibiotics, which are sometimes found in farm-raised salmon. Sockeye and coho are excellent choices. Sockeye has a deep red color and bold flavor, while coho is milder and softer, often easier for older stomachs to digest. King salmon, while high in fat, is rich and luxurious, but can be more expensive. Second, check the color, but don't be fooled by it. Some farmed salmon is dyed to look more vibrant. Real wild salmon gets its deep orange hue from its natural diet of krill and shrimp. If the label says color added, it's farmed. This doesn't mean it's bad, but it's important to know what you're buying. Third, smell and texture matter. Good salmon should smell clean, like the sea, not fishy. The flesh should bounce back when you touch it, not feel mushy or slimy. If you buy frozen salmon, look for vacuum-sealed packaging and check that there's no frost or freezer burn inside. Lastly, think about how you'll cook it. If you're new to salmon, start with fillets. They're easy to season and pan-sear. Canned wild salmon is also a good option, especially for soups or rice bowls. In Japan, we even make salmon flakes from grilled fillets stored in a jar and sprinkled over rice. I understand that food shopping in a new culture can feel overwhelming, but don't let labels or choices discourage you. Buying salmon becomes easier with time, and every piece you bring home is a step toward a stronger, clearer, more balanced life. Small daily habit. Big change. How to add salmon into your life. Big changes don't have to start big. In Japan, we often say, "Chisai koto kara hajime nasai." Begin with small things. And when it comes to building health after 60, that wisdom is more important than ever. If you're new to salmon, don't feel like you need to eat it every day. Start with once a week, then twice. You'll begin to notice not only how your body responds, but also how your kitchen feels more alive, more connected to care. One easy way to begin is with breakfast. A small fillet of salmon lightly grilled served with rice and a cup of green tea. You don't need a traditional grill, a pan works just fine. Or try ochazuke, pour warm green tea over rice, top it with a few flakes of cooked salmon, and enjoy a soothing, easy-to-digest meal. Another gentle option is salmon soup. In Japan, we simmer salmon with tofu, cabbage, and miso broth. It's warming, filling, and especially kind to the aging stomach. A bowl of this in the evening can feel like a soft hand on the shoulder after a long day. If mornings are too busy, prepare ahead. Cook a fillet, break it into flakes, and keep it in the fridge. Sprinkle it over salads, rice, or even into oatmeal for a savory twist. Let the flavor become familiar. One of my American friends, Mary, started doing just this. At 70, she was feeling weak, forgetful, and tired after meals. Inspired by her Japanese pen pal, she began eating salmon twice a week, grilled, then later in soup. Within a month, she told me, "I feel clearer," like the fog lifted, and her digestion improved too. That's the beauty of small habits. Over time, they change how we feel, how we move, how we age, not with force, but with grace. Salmon to us in Japan is more than food. It's a quiet companion through the seasons of life. It nourishes when we are young, sustains us as we age, and comforts us in our later years. We've walked together now through how this simple fish can support your muscles, protect your mind, and ease the work of your heart. Not with loud promises, but with steady, gentle presence. One meal at a time. You don't need to change everything today. Just listen to your body. Try one meal. See how it feels. And know that even later in life, the body still responds to care. It still remembers kindness. As I often tell my grandson, you are never too old to feel better. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'd love to hear from you what's one small change you're thinking of trying. Share it in the comments below. And if this video brought you comfort or clarity, please subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Health-related content on YouTube does not apply to everyone and is not medical advice. If you have concerns about your health, please speak with your doctor or local clinic. If you believe you need emergency care, contact your physician or call your local emergency number.